When I'm getting ready for a race, there's a lot to prepare for. I have enough to worry about, but I never worry about my oil. My sled's ready. Is yours? I'm Robbie Malinowski, professional snowcross racer for Team AMSOIL.
Looking good, bud.
Welcome back to Sledhead24. I'm Misha Johnson, and right now our Sledhead24 road trip continues. We're going to the home of horsepower, our favorite crew and favorite place in Forest Lake, Speedwerx. Take it away, guys.
Jeff Fischer with Sledhead24. We're out here in the backcountries of Colorado. We're riding with Jeremy from Speedwerx and Eric Volk from Volk Performance. They're showing us what Speedwerx does when they set up your products. These things, they're taking us where, I don't know, not too many people have ever been. I don't know, where are we?
We're up here in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where Eric, this Eric from Volk Performance, everybody remembers him. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to get to these places. But he's got us in God knows where right now. Seen some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen on a snowmobile here today. From tight tree riding, up these nasty chutes, dropping in on stuff, these meadows, just 3 feet of powder. I mean, we've seen it all today. Testing a stock sled with our full exhaust system on it, doing clutching calibration work, fuel calibration work. We got a big bore here, 3 turbo sleds, just shaking stuff down, putting it through any possible scenario that we can think of, so we're 100% confident our customers are getting the product they want and they deserve.
They're doing some drag races, some pretty gnarly stuff. On the right is the 1000, on the left is the 800. I think maybe the 1000 had just a little more grunt with that displacement. You know what they say, no replacement for displacement. You can see here Jeremy's looking at, he's checking exhaust temps, he's checking the air-fuel ratio, and he's doing his mapping. He's trying to keep track of what he's got going on with his gauges here. Now he's actually changing the fuel mapping, trying to make sure this thing is perfect for you, the consumer. They're coming down hills on their side, shooting back up the hills, making sure the clutching, that it responds, the back shifts. The thing's running so crisp. They're getting the mapping right, they're diving it in, coming out of the snow, the thing's dialed. You know what is really amazing is just to see firsthand what they go through testing their product. I kid you not, you're only seeing just a little glimpse of the big picture of what Speedwerx is doing for you, the consumer.
It's been a bit of an adventure, but working through these things truly ensures that the end user, the customer, is going to get a sled that actually performs in these scenarios. And these are the sorts of things that are very, very important to the buying public, for you guys to have a sled that works here, not just out in the meadow or on the trail, 11,000 feet in the backcountry of Colorado.
Jeremy Hull's on a 1000 pump gas turbo. Look at the way that thing just twerks up the hill. That thing just point and shoot, that thing is. You guys, where they're high marking up there, it is gnarly. They're on a basic cliff face. They're high marking.
We don't want to have any questions or, oh, this part's going to do that, or this part has a possibility of doing that. We're going to wipe that stuff right off the slate and make sure our customers are 100% happy.
We're almost done. We're almost out of here. If you guys think that Speedwerx doesn't do their homework, you got another thing coming to you. They proved it to me. They proved it to the guys and their test guys today. We went through some nasty stuff, the deep stuff, the steep, everything you can imagine. I want to thank Speedwerx for inviting the Sledhead24 gang out here. Eric from Volk Motors for touring us around this beautiful countryside. And my Motor Fist gear for keeping me nice and dry. Trust me, plenty of snow to get wet in, and I'm staying dry.
When Sledhead24 returns, some highlights from the AMSOIL Championship Snowcross Series as the Pro Open class puts on a show. The battle between Ross Martin and Tucker Hibbert heats up, and we'll have the latest news. Sledhead24 is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. By Arctic Cat, share our passion. Loctite, the professional's choice. And by Polaris, terrain domination.
Welcome back to the best darn snowmobile show on television. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, and coming up next, we're going to look at some of the highlights from the second stop of the AMSOIL Championship Snowcross Series at the Dakota Magic Fargo National. Here's a look at how it all went down.
Cold was the word of the day in Fargo. The north winds howled across the prairie at the Dakota Magic Casino Fargo National. ISOC turned Newman Outdoor Field into a snowcross track. The result was a tight track with plenty to challenge the racers. After an intense day of heats, it all leads to this, the AMSOIL Pro Open, the big show with the big engine. It was prime time to renew the battle between Ross Martin and Tucker Hibbert, a chance to settle the score after their epic battle in round one at the AMSOIL Duluth National. It was also a chance for Skidoo rider Tim Tremblay to gain some ground in the always tight points battle. And for Robbie Malinowski, the final was a chance to make up for a slow start in Duluth. As the temperatures continued to drop, so did the green flag. Ross Martin grabs the hole shot, and the Stud Boy Hole Shot Award is his. Tim Tremblay is second, Tucker Hibbert a close third, and the race is on. In lap 2, Ross Martin begins to pull away from the pack as Hibbert and Tremblay fight to stay up. On lap 3, Tucker makes his move and passes Tremblay. Tucker's racing hard, and number 68 on an Arctic Cat is making up ground on the leader. But fame is fleeting, as on lap 5, Tucker takes a bad line and goes off the track. He quickly gets back on his sled, but it's too late. Tremblay takes full advantage and moves into second place. Game on. Now Martin and Tremblay battle back and forth, to and fro. But as he's done in the past, Tucker finds another gear and makes his move and charges Tremblay. On lap 7, a bad hop almost knocks Ross Martin off his game. And a short time later, Hibbert goes hard on the inside line and takes over second from Tremblay. With 6 laps to go, Tucker makes another move. He's like a machine out there. And the battle between Tucker Hibbert and Ross Martin is like a game of cat and mouse for first. But then, Hibbert takes another classic inside line and passes Ross Martin again for the final time. Tucker Hibbert now has a commanding lead. And the race now is for second place between Martin and Tremblay. The checkered flag flies for Tucker Hibbert on an Arctic Cat. It was his race today.
The Pro Open Main was a success. You know, we won the race, so I'm pretty excited. It was a challenge again for me. I thought it was going to be a little easier. The thought tries to creep in your mind that, man, the race is over. You know, I just made a big mistake and threw it away. But, you know, as soon as that thought tried to creep in, I just said no. That's what you have to do, I guess. It's just, I didn't want to give up.
Very cool stuff. Thanks for that. Well, you know, the saying around here goes, time flies when you're having fun. And that's all the time we have for this episode of Sledhead24/7. So make sure to visit us online at isocracing.com or Sledhead24-7.com. I'm Misha Johnson. You can always visit me on Facebook. And as I say in Swedish, kör försiktigt kompisar. Better know what that means. It means drive safe, friends. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Next week on Sledhead24/7, meet a Skidoo rider who's been brand loyal all his life. A life centered around snowy trails. He'll share the main course at a small-town cafe where the trails are just out the kitchen door. And go one-on-one with Snowcross superstar Tucker Hibbert. What makes Tucker tick? And just what makes him #1? We'll find out next week on Sledhead24/7.